If you're feeling lost in this cold, rigid, hustle bro culture in a creative industry where you feel like it should be the opposite, you are not alone. I realized that nobody was talking about how to live a beautiful, abundant, creative, artistic life without having this crazy, exhausting routine to make it happen. As a fellow ethereal girl myself, I am all about being intentional, sparking joy, and creating a grounded, soft space for all of us to enjoy creating our art full time. Let's get right into it. The first tip is to create a monthly manifestation lock screen. That screen that is on your cell phone that you see tens or hundreds of times every day when you open your phone. There was something that I realized about the goals that I was setting for myself last year. I was either setting goals that were way too reasonable, way too high, way too many, way too few, way too specific, not specific enough. Everyone tells you to set goals, but no one actually tells you how to set goals. If you are new to starting this, I highly recommend this technique, and even if you're not new, honestly, I still do it. The first thing that I would say is that creating yearly goals is a waste of time and not helpful. If you have found success creating yearly goals, that is amazing. You are much better than I am. I have not found success creating yearly goals simply because setting a goal for an entire year is so long. It's kind of like in college, your professor assigns you all a paper that's due at the end of the semester. You know 90% of the people in there are not getting it done until the night before. I will say that wasn't me. I never procrastinated. I broke it up into little pieces, which is what we're going to talk about a little bit later. It's a subconscious thing. The longer of a time frame we have, the more likely we're gonna put something off. The more urgent something is, the more likely we're just gonna get it done. This is why when you start making goals, I highly recommend making goals within a month's time span. Now, this little manifestation lock screen is kind of like an affirmation more than anything. You're reading something over and over again, and your subconscious is basically telling you, I am reading something, my reality is not matching it. How can I make my reality match it? This technique has helped me when I wanted to start making a full-time income freelancing, when I wanted to finally release our first song and advance in the work that I'm doing as a freelancer. Now, what you're gonna do is find a design platform like Canva, or if you don't even wanna get on this, just bring up like a Google Doc. Change the background to whatever background color you want. Pick a font that you really like. You're gonna write down 2 goals. Having anything more than that is really difficult, at least for me. Remember, this is gonna be for 1 month. Where do I have mine? Here. April 1st, 2024 manifestations. I actually have 3 goals, but next month I'm gonna do 2 goals because 2 of these I'm working on and one of them I've just totally forgotten about because it's just too much. I am working with 3 clients on an ongoing, consistent contract. This was one that was really important to me. I do a lot of different creative things for clients like social media management and blog writing and things like that. I was getting like a little bit of money from here and a little bit of money from here. And some of them I was working hourly, and some months I would have a lot of work and other months I wouldn't have any work. I really wanted to manifest. I need more consistent clients, 2 or 3 clients that are giving me the majority of my income so I can just focus on them. I don't have to context switch all the time. Then I have time to actually build my other business. Let me break this phrase down. We got I am. You should be starting with I am. The definition of manifesting something is treating it as if it is already here. And again, like telling your subconscious, this is something that we don't have right now. I'm going to tell you what I want. How can I align the puzzle pieces to make this happen? I know it sounds crazy. Go on this ride for me. I am working with 3 clients. I don't want 4. I don't want 2. There's 3 clients that I have in mind. Be as specific as possible. I'll tell you in a second the one key phrase that you should say at the end to not pigeonhole yourself into one thing if you feel like there could be other opportunities you might not know. I'm working with 3 clients on an ongoing, consistent contract. This was a big pain point for me. I had contracts that were 3 months, or I had contracts that you would make a little bit here, but there wasn't guaranteed that you make the same amount the next month. Every time I open my phone screen, I literally read, I am working with 3 clients on an ongoing, consistent contract. Obviously, try your best to do this. Even if you glance at it, it's gonna be like ongoing, consistent clients. You're gonna still be embodying it. My second one was I am posting one time a week on YouTube, 2 times. I am posting 1 time a week on YouTube, I am posting one. I wrote this terribly. There's a lot going on this, and I feel like I just want to focus on one, which is YouTube. For my next goal, I kind of want to just focus on one platform. I have been posting 1 time a week on YouTube. I haven't been able to post 2 blogs, and I haven't been able to do 1 reel. I feel like those need to be individual ones. You don't want to stuff too many things in one phrase. You want it to be specific, but you want it to be really clear. You don't want it to be like 1 a week on YouTube and 2 blogs and at least 1 reel. Like, that's really confusing. If you heard the amount of times it took me to actually understand and read that, you should know that's a horrible example. My 3rd one was, I am working weekly on developing our songs and writing music on the piano and guitar. I have been, but I have not been focusing on that. And that's why I kind of say do 2, because I feel like once you get to the 3rd one, it's a lot. I went to hot yoga today and it was wonderful, but I'm so thirsty and I won't drink anything unless it's out of a straw. The effort of going like this is just too much for me. At the bottom of this, I actually listed out the clients and the amount of money I wanted to make for each client. This is where it gets crazy. Some of these are already clients that I know I make this amount of money from them consistently. It doesn't really change, but I just want to make sure it's there. I want to continue working with them, want to make sure they're included. Kid you not. When I tell you the first client, we had a meeting on Monday and they said, we have more clients. Are you able to take on more? We'll pay you this amount. And I'm like, yep. And the second one, we had a Q1 meeting yesterday and she said, I'm gonna schedule a meeting with all of you. I need more things done. I want to see what you guys would be interested to see how your role grows. And I'm like, yes, I have this number down here. Then I have the total underneath it. And then the phrase that is vital for you to put, or something better. You don't always know what's best for you. We can do our best to guess, but we just want to put it out into the universe that we're not trying to over control everything. There is a reason if we want to have something to be better, we're bringing that into the universe too. If you check in and you realize you didn't hit your goal, but it was a little bit under. If you didn't have that, you might not have even gotten anything else. After a month, you can revisit it, tweak it, and especially the first times you do it, like see what worked, see what didn't. Maybe your phrasing, you could have done better on one of them. Maybe you actually wanted to focus on something else in the middle of the month. It's only a month, and that's kind of why I love it so much. It's not like I set my 6-month goal to be this and I'm not achieving it, because especially as creatives and artists, our lives are changing constantly. I cannot tell you what my goal in 6 months would be. I could tell you what I kind of want my life to look like, but as far as breaking things down into systems, that is way too far in advance. It should be super easy for you to do. Literally takes like 10 minutes. Write one thing down, write or something better under it, screenshot it, make sure it's your favorite color and make sure it's a font you like. You want to be able to look at it instead of being like ugly color, ugly font, not gonna read it. Also, who doesn't love a cute phone lock screen background? We have goals, but we also want to make sure that we have systems to make the goals happen. And this brings me into my next point, which is to make beautiful income producing systems and templates. I say this like such a nerd. It's not exciting, but when you make it pretty, it is. I need things to be beautiful, and I'm sure you are like that too. So many people talk about goals and what are your goals and goal setting, but if you don't have systems to make it happen, and that goes the same for manifestation. If you visualize something, you could literally want it so badly, but if you don't have the systems to make it happen, it's not gonna happen. If you don't make those systems cute and a system that you actually want to use because it looks really pretty, it's not gonna happen. Everything has a system, even if you don't know about it. Everything creative comes from a system. You look at songs. Yes, the way that they were written might have a really cool backstory. You know, I write music sometimes on my bed, upside down. I'm in the car a lot of the times, but that happens then in a system. I write the song, have the lyrics, have the melody, show it to Static. He plays a rough demo. We build a little bit more of a demo with some drums, show it to Mike and Garrett. They work on it. I lay down some vocals. Garrett adds to it, Mike adds to it. I add another vocal, Garrett lays down his final drums, Mike adds some stuff, Static adds his stuff, I add harmonies, Mike mixes and masters it, we market it. This is a whole system, even though it's something very creative. Obviously, the creative process doesn't have to be as systematized minute to minute, but you look at all these music videos that you love and they're so artsy, but they all have a system to it. The film crew has a schedule and they have to follow that schedule. They have a specific budget. Everything has a system, even the most creative things. Systems don't have to automatically be this thing that is wake up and hustle and you have to have all these schedules that are really rigid. It can be soft and beautiful. We want it to be present and authentic. How do we make these beautiful systems for ourselves? Think about what the goal is that you just put down on your lock screen. There are a few elements to creating systems. A big one is templatizing things. Basically creating an outline meant for you to edit. So you don't have to stare at a blank screen. I had this whole system that I created when I was looking for freelance clients. At the time, I had wanted to get some more options so I can look for some more high-paying ones, basically, and lovingly release the ones that didn't necessarily pay me as much as I needed to. Just through a table, it's very simple, and you just add custom fields whenever you want. I put in my job title, the template, and the script. I had some templates down here, and then what I would do is I would rewrite it to cater to that specific potential client. So if someone's looking for an SEO copywriter, I'd be like, I've been an SEO copywriter for XYZ. If they're looking for a content marketer, I would tailor that a little bit more towards the content marketing clients I've had, maybe even share a few screenshots of some metrics that I've achieved for past clients. I basically rewrite the template, I would edit it, put the job link here just so I could track it. I'd put the platform that I was applying, the date I applied, and then I would even track like second communication. And here I would basically check like template filled, applied, reply, meeting 1. And if you scroll down, I can actually see I applied to 36, I got 6 replies, I got 1 meeting. Then basically track and say, okay, is this successful? Am I applying for the wrong things? Could I make that higher? I'm not gonna go back to an Excel doc because it's so many lines and it just gets really disorganized, but because this is so cleanly put, I kept going back to it and I kept referring to it, and then I could track and see, okay, maybe this isn't the best technique. Maybe I should be on another platform or trying to go about this in a different way. So here's a sample system that you can make right on Notion. I have a friend who wants to start selling skincare on Etsy. She can literally just start with a checklist. She can go in Notion and maybe she can just start like day 1. A rule that I love by Jack Canfield is do 5 things a day that gets you closer to that goal. And I think that's a great way to start, because you could go as complicated as I just showed you, or you can just start really stinking simple. Day 1, find a YouTube channel about Etsy shops that you like. Read Etsy's rules about selling skincare. Research different recipes for the first product. Let's just start with one product. Order small batch of first potential recipe to try, make an Etsy account. That's day 1. And once she does that, she can just start with day 2. That's a good amount of things to do. Imagine if she continued to do this every single day for 30 days. By the end of a month, she will have completed 150 things to further her Etsy business just by going to that rule, just by starting a simple system. It's organized. She can put them next to each other. You can add like a little emoji for this day, and then an emoji for this day. You can add a cover to this, which I love. I would totally do flowers. And then of course the satisfaction of checking it off is just like chef's kiss. This is your home for starting your business. When I'm in a really pretty platform like this, I'm gonna wanna go back to it because I'm able to customize it. You have a beautiful lock screen. You have a beautiful system in Notion. Now it is time to dress your home for the job and life you want. Speaking of home, I have to go clean up some cat throw up real quick. I'm assuming you already know the phrase, dress for the job you want, not the job you have. I'm talking about your home because this is part of manifestation, whether you know it or not. Imagine how you feel, how you walk into a space when it's like a dingy little bar, as opposed to when you walk into a really nice restaurant. When I walk into a bar, if I slam the doors too hard, pull out the seat and it's really loud, everything's already really loud, everything is already worn out. I don't really care for like trying to be too intentional. When I'm in a really nice restaurant, I treat everything with so much more respect. I'm like daintier when I pull out the chair, sipping my tea. It's a whole different vibe because I'm surrounding myself with things that I care about, that I'm being intentional about. This goes back to intentionality in your career. I do think a big part of this is actually situating things in your house to make it easier for you to do. If you want to be recording music a lot, you need to have a microphone out, plugged in, ready when you have an idea. If you want to write music on the piano, you need a keyboard that's already plugged in, ready to turn on. You need things that are going to help make it it way easier for you to pursue these creative goals. But it's even deeper than that. I remember working in tech startup. There was a design term, making things delightful, like delightful experiences. Make things in your home feel high-end. You're probably gonna say, like, I don't have the money to spend on high-end things. Girl, neither do I. Even if I did have it, I wouldn't want to have to spend $1,000 on a mirror. I don't know, I don't know. Maybe one day, but not today, not tomorrow, not next week. Don't want to do that. Not everything you need to make about your home needs to be something that's bought new. The majority of the things in our house are thrifted, are from like Facebook Marketplace or a thrift store, and there are so many parts of this that I find so helpful for artists and creatives. Getting a more thrifty mindset is helpful not only for being more intentional around your house, but also for when you're not able to be as creative as you want. Thrifting is an incredible way of being creative, especially when you're in those lulls. Right after 2020, and as things started opening back up again, I started binging Exo McKenna's YouTube channel. I couldn't be in acting school. I couldn't audition for shows, so I started going into thrift stores, looking at pieces and using my house almost as its own palette, its own creative project. What can I do to elevate the space? For a budget too. It's kind of a fun challenge to be able to have a budget when you're thrifting. I've gotten really into it because it is such a expression of your own creativity, as well as it being your own creative project. It's also a place that you can live in every single day and enjoy the space. You should be surrounding yourself with your favorite colors. Going back to your lock screen, that should have your favorite color on it. There is no reason why you can't find some fun ways to make your home really, really inspiring. Go thrifting, go to estate sales, and you can treat your home as your own creative project, but also in turn making your home feel more intentional and more you, and inspire you to start creating whatever you want to. I love making mood boards for different rooms because it's basically what I do when I imagine music videos or songs or cover art. It all starts with a mood board. It's just another reason why this is a way that you can treat your own space as your own creative project. It's about making your days more romanticized and enjoyable. Do you see my space? I'm a renter. Even as a renter, there's no reason why you can't do even little things to make your home feel more inviting and more inspiring, making your days more inspiring. In fact, breaking up your day and your week with calm. I don't know how much flexibility you have, but if you are able to control some of your hours, I have started taking the days off on Wednesdays. I've been doing Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday specifically for client work. I have forced myself to fit all of my work into those days, even if I have to work a little bit more, so I can take Wednesdays off. On Wednesdays, I go to a yoga class, get out of the house, film. That has been a really, really wonderful way for me to break up the weeks. It's easy, I think, to say, if I could get it done in 4 days, then maybe I could take Friday off, but like that's never the case. I always fill that extra time with other things. Every single day, obviously, I always give myself a lunch break, and I try to make it so that I'm getting some sort of sunlight or just completely shutting my computer, especially if this is work that you're kind of transitioning into doing something you love, like if you're working a full-time job that you're not necessarily like crazy about, or even if you're freelancing and you would not want to do this forever. It's so easy to stay plugged into your laptop, even if you want to take a break and then you look at YouTube videos for an hour. No, just close the laptop. If you want to look at YouTube videos, do it on your TV. If you're in a specific season of your journey where you feel like you have to work really long hours, give yourself an hour lunch break and an hour dinner break. I promise you, you will be more efficient after you've had a break. When I try to work the entire day because I say, oh, well, an hour is going to set me back, the last 3 to 4 hours of the day, I am taking 5 hours on something that should take 30 minutes. It's not going to happen. It's not going to work. Give yourself that break. If you want to follow the whole 4-hour workweek philosophy, which that is one of my favorite books, then this is an even better way to break up your days. Is you want that Thursday and Friday energy. The attitude on Friday and Thursdays are much different than they are on Mondays. You should give yourself that. Even better, what I do is on my breaks, pre-schedule things as much as possible. Pre-schedule times you're gonna call people or certain things that are just gonna get you out of the house or get you out of your head. For my yoga classes, I will pre-schedule them the day before. So I make sure that I show up. If I pre-schedule them and I already buy them, I'm showing up to that. I'm not gonna waste all this money and then not go. But if I give myself the leniency of, I'll just sign in there, I could just not show up and it won't do anything. In this case, your money is gonna be your accountability buddy. And speaking of accountability buddies, it is very important that you have your squad members ready and available to hold accountability for you to hold accountability for them. My squad members know what my goals are, and they will ask me it at the end of the month. Especially when we start changing our lock screens, I'm going to ask them, how did your goals go? What could have made them better? This is really helpful for when you are adjusting those goals and you're reflecting on, I think I set too many goals. I think I was a little bit too general. I think that I could have done this better and that better. It's always good to just have someone else to talk to about it, because it could be very easy to spiral, and not actually get anywhere because you're spending so much time just judging yourself. Your squad members should be non-judgmental of where you want your life to be, as long as it's a place that is serving you and serving others. I've had people in my life where they question everything I do, and I've kind of had to learn, maybe those aren't my people. I know some people whose parents can hold them accountable, and other people who their parents wouldn't really get what they're doing. Pay in mind people in your life who you really feel like you can talk to your goals about and you won't be judged, and you won't judge them either. Definitely make it a point to celebrate little wins with them too. It doesn't have to be this whole thing about whenever you get a job or whenever you make money. Share the little wins with them. We care about that. We should be each other's cheerleaders, and we should be really excited for all of those little moments along the way, and you deserve someone to share them with. These are ways that you can become a better artist for yourself, which is why I definitely recommend watching this next video on how to be a better artist in 2024. I hope you enjoyed this one. I will see you next time. Cheers. I'm gonna not do this over my computer. Oh God, oh God. Practice dressing for the job you want, not you have. You're up the hat. Iconic. That is what happens when you go on Amazon to try to get peel and stick wallpaper. Love it. Love her. She's very fun.